shit.
Hey everybody, it's Benny1 and I'm back at you with another movie review, everybody. And I'm going to kick off kind of my horror sci-fi and just like Halloween themed movie reviews. I'm going to kick them off this month. I'm going to do some random ones in there. I'm going to rewatch the Friday the 13th movies again this year because I didn't do a ranking last year like I wanted to. Kind of just didn't happen because I didn't get time. And then I'll do the Halloween franchise later in October also. But we are going to kick this off with one of my easily top 10 favorite horror sci-fi monster movies. And that is John Carpenter's The Thing, everybody. John Carpenter is a horror genius. The guy is amazing at filming and directing horror movies. He did Halloween. He's still involved with the Halloween franchise to this day. But yeah, The Thing, fantastic movie. It came out in 1982. It is technically a remake of The Thing from, I think it was the mid-50s. I can't remember exactly what year, but there was a movie that came out in the mid-50s that was titled The Thing. It actually was what the kids in the original Halloween, the little kids that they're babysitting, are watching on Halloween night. So, a little fun fact there, that he had that in Halloween, and then, 4 or 5 years later, he ended up remaking the movie. So, and this movie was not liked. When it came out, people did not like this movie. And I don't know why, because this movie is fantastic. It is easily one of the best horror sci-fi movies that has ever been made. Still to date, everyone. And John Carpenter directed it. Fantastic job. Like, the way that he shoots scenes and the way that they edit his movies and stuff, because he keeps the suspense and everything, and they're very riveting to watch because he knows how to time a shot and leave it there without moving the camera, and just, even if it's just one of the actors standing there staring at something. Like in this movie, Kurt Russell, there's a shot where he's sitting at his desk and he's talking to this recorder thing, and you can see there's a huge part of the shot that's over on this side of his shoulder, and it just sits there for a good 10-15 seconds with nothing going on. And it's just like, that's what is so riveting and builds the suspense with this movie is the way that Carpenter shoots these films, and it's just the angles and everything. It's just fantastic. And Kurt Russell is our main star in this movie. And the basic gist of the story is, without me really revealing what's going on in the movie, because I feel like this is a movie that you should go into and watch without knowing what's going on. Like, if you've never seen this movie, you were in for a fucking treat. That's all I have to say. You were in for a treat, because this is a great sci-fi horror movie. Fantastic. The basic gist of the story, though, is that there's a group of people that are up studying they're in Antarctica, and they're stuck there. They're pretty, they don't really have anywhere to go because the weather is just nasty. It gets down to the negative 50s and 60s or even colder. And one cool fact about them filming this movie is that when they filmed this movie, they made the set, the little research facility building that they were in, which was very cramped. They made you feel very close quarters, claustrophobic, it was a small setting, which actually played into why the movie was so good with The Thing and all that stuff. It worked just great together. But they made the set 40 degrees so that when they were inside of this research facility, they actually made the actors feel like they literally were there, in that location and stuff. They made the weather they tried to remake it so that they got a great reaction out of the actors, because then you get a better performance from the actors. So, but yeah, they're in this research facility in Antarctica, and they see this, I think they're, Norway, they're from Norway or whatever, but there's this helicopter, like, trying to shoot this freaking, like, husky dog or something, and the helicopter ends up blowing up and all this shit, and that's where kind of the mystery starts to unvolve. And they're like, what the hell, why were these guys trying to shoot this dog? Like, and then they go check out their research facility, and that's where shit starts unfolding and everything. And I'm not really going to talk about the story too much, because like I said, if you've never seen this movie, like, you gotta watch it, because you're in for a treat. Because whew, the mystery part of it is like the first half of the movie, because you're wondering what's going on. You're on the edge of your seat. It's just riveting. It's just, this movie is fantastic. And the freaking effects that they used, like the damn prosthetics and the basic effects, because there was no CGI. It was all practical effects back then. They are some of the best practical effects that I've seen in movies, like, to date. Like, when they're showing The Thing and all that stuff, like, that shit looks nasty, gruesome, bloody, and real. And if you read about the actors that were in this movie, they even said there were points where they would start shooting a scene and they would see this prosthetic thing, this practical effect thing, and they would start getting sick to their stomach. And that right there alone, you get that from the actor when you're filming. When they feel that, when they're supposed to be acting that way, but they actually feel that way, they're grossed out. They're sick to their stomach. They're like, what the hell is that? That's why the performances in this movie are so fantastic, because of the effects were that damn good. And like I said, still to this date, some of the best practical effects I have seen in a movie to date. That's the thing, is like, practical, and I know a lot of you that have been watching my channel know this, practical effects, if they're done right and the time is spent to do them, they are way better than CGI. I don't care what anybody says, they're way better than CGI. Even if they take the time to make CGI look as good as it could possibly be, and they actually spend time and spend money on it, the practical effects still look better. Especially when you add a little CGI to it. But yeah, this movie's fantastic, people. If you love John Carpenter, you love horror movies, you love that sci-fi, monster, mystery type thrill, just, ooh, keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's riveting. The acting's great. Kurt Russell, this is one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies. I think his performance in this movie is easily one of his best performances in any movies that he's ever been in. John Carpenter, you don't even need to say anything. The man is a genius, and he did a fantastic job with the movie. So I'm giving The Thing a 10 out of 10. It is a fantastic movie. Like I said, it's easily in my top 10, probably my top 5 horror sci-fi movies. So a 10 out of 10 for John Carpenter's The Thing, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed that review, and I hope you guys go check the movie out if you haven't seen it. And I'll be catching you on the tube laters, because I have spoken.